Good evening and Happy New Year to everybody who's tuned in. Welcome to the Front Runner Football Podcast, the first of the new decade and the first of the year. It's the 6th of January, and already we've all had a round of games that have brought in the new year. As far as the Absa Premiership is concerned, some leagues in the world didn't even stop, but it's been a very short break and one that's resumed and had some interesting implications as far as the title race is concerned. To help me dissect these issues, I have two gentlemen joining me in the studio this evening, in Ian Khoroa, and I've also got Christopher Bongo. Gentlemen, Happy New Year to you, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's have a look. I mean, yeah, there's the transfer window is open now. You have a situation where Chiefs have had what looked like a good lead going into that Christmas break, now getting chopped away at by a team who are essentially the party spoilers and always rise to the occasion when they're playing the other big sides in SuperSport United, who are able to beat them at the weekend. But I think we must maybe be fair and say Chiefs were unlucky maybe to not even get a point out of that game. I mean, 3 times against the post, you have to say to yourself, it's not your day. And maybe that's why Ernst Middendorp will say not a bad team performance, but some individual errors meant that because we didn't score, when they tried and those individuals didn't stop them from scoring, they scored. So that he saw that as the difference. How would you see that, Coach Goro?
2 things. I think we discussed earlier the difficulty of the second season if you are on top of the league.
The second half of the season.
The second half of the season.
Right.
So we discussed that, and we, as much as Chiefs were on top, we say the season is still on.
Right.
And I think going back to the game, the actual game which they lost, I thought they were the better team and they deserved to win, honestly.
Right.
As much as
They lost.
They lost, I think they deserve to win. But looking at it general, that's also how they've been winning.
Right.
They played against Bloemfontein Celtics. They were losing, and they ended up winning.
Right.
So I think it's just probably a run of bad luck, if I can put it that way. But you can see the quality which they have.
Right.
So I'm sure they'll rise again and continue where they left. But again, the other teams are saying, okay, here we are. It was at one point, I think it was 15 points or 13 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Now
Double digits.
Now it's only 4.
From the analyst outside, because the coach gives you, because he has been in the change room, he has led the team out in the change and to see them play. So he gave you that perspective. As an analyst, the perspective was, I don't call it a mistake. I'll call it was a misjudgment from one coach and the capitalization from the other.
Right.
From Kaizer Chiefs, they played 3 at the back. They play with Sussman, they play with Matoho and Cardozo. And the 3, they were being pinned with a 2 striker from the opposition. I think it was Rosicky started the game with a Globler.
Right.
Which means the 3 players could not move. In the wide position, you have Frostler was playing in the right-hand side, left-hand side, you have Parker. And the attitude was to move forward. So what happened with not Coach Goro, but Coach Katiamo.
Tembo, yeah.
He said, if I play Kaizer Chiefs in the middle, I'll lose it. The moment we get the ball, play diagonal. And the diagonal was not for them to score. Right. It was for them to go wide, cross the ball. Once Chiefs win the ball, they win the second ball. Chiefs could not win the second ball. And because SuperSport were winning all the second ball, it became very difficult for Chiefs to keep in turning all the time.
Right.
And we saw the quality of Chiefs once they got the ball and they start passing it around, where you have Manyama playing there, when you have Nokovic playing there, when you have Castro making run inside the box. But there were so many players for SuperSport to defend against it. And the coach made one good point. The first game of the season against Highland Park, Kaizer Chiefs supposed to lose that game 2-0 or 3-0, but they managed to get the win.
Yeah. Right.
So the coach is correct. That Chiefs lost the way they've been winning.
Yeah, simple as that. And also, I think I was speaking to Caetano just before the week towards the game, and I was you just asked in my opinion, and we were just talking. He mentioned something to me. He said, "Listen, I'll attack them on the right-hand side because I think Chiefs are very weak.
That is Fosler.
Yes. And he was not even thinking Fosler. He was thinking Sussman.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So they targeted Sussman.
And then they got it lucky because Frost and Sussman, they were not in the game.
Exactly. So he just mentioned to me that, listen, we are going wide.
Right.
Whatever happens, we are going wide. And which wide, I asked him.
But the coach, I think it could have been better for me. I think if Chiefs they went with a 4-4-2 system,
Right.
Have your two center defender concentrate in sweeping,
Right.
and they have your wing players play as a defender.
Yeah.
When you start mixing wings going forward and coming, and you're playing with Mahatashi in one side, and you're playing with a Klapo the other side. Super Sport is not a small team.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's not.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But so we could say the coach got his tactics wrong on the day, I
Right.
presume.
Yeah.
And also the other coach, I think, he, to be honest, I spoke to him after the game as well. He
Yes.
said, "Yeah, I don't deserve to win this game. I didn't deserve to win this game, but I won."
Right.
Yeah.
You see? So because at the same time, I think they took their chances. That's it.
Exactly. That's what we do.
And
Listen, it could have been worse. I saw Gabuza got in a very good situation, and when the ball hit the post, come
Yes,
back,
yeah.
you thought as a striker he's going to just push the
Push it
ball,
back.
but he hit it so hard that the ball went wide.
Right.
By that time, the game could have been 3-1.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I
And-
mean,
and also I
Yeah.
think for me, I've always said I hope Chiefs, because they have never been in this situation. We want to see now
Uh,
if they have the mental strength.
because there was a behind the scenes talking. Now let's see what they're gonna do after this defeat.
Do they need to go into the transfer market?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they got enough players. But if you look the approach, which they, I think Chiefs' strength is in defense.
yeah.
That's their strength, which is in defense. So if your team is good at defense, then you know you're going to get the ball anyway.
Right.
Regardless. And
Right.
Also, their striking. I think they've got a good striking partnership. And for me, Kamabilities didn't play. And I don't know whether he was going to make a difference. But the way he has played for Chiefs this season, I don't think they really miss him.
Right.
If I can say
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So yeah, I think they're all right in terms of the strength.
To
and the
confirm
depth.
what you're saying, the best defensive team in the league at the moment, believe it or not, it is Maritzburg.
Okay.
They only conceded 11 goals.
Right.
Kaizer Chiefs so far they've conceded only 12 goals.
Right.
So the coach is right.
Yeah.
They are very solid in defense. Not because they've got strong defender, it's because they've got a solid midfielder.
Yeah.
People do undermine the work that Maluleke and Kasande they do in that midfield.
Right.
Absolutely.
They protect. They've got in Arsenal they used to have a guy called Gilberto.
Yes.
Invisible curtain,
Yeah, true.
just protecting the defense and going. So that's what Chiefs has been doing so far.
Right.
And Minderdop keeping tweaking and changing the strategy sometimes. I don't know. I'm not a coach.
Yeah.
But from the outside, it looks like he doesn't want to be read much by other opposition.
Right.
But at the same time, he's showing his weaknesses.
Yes.
So, like what you're saying, I personally believe that the first 3 games of 2020 will define if Chiefs have the mantle.
Right.
Why? It's because if they got another bad result, mentally they're going to start doubting themselves.
Exactly.
And as a coach is here, will tell you the worst a player can have is to start doubting himself.
Right.
At the same time, Bidvets and Mamelodi Sundown, they will feel confident to push. That's why Kaizer Chiefs needed to start the year stronger to kill the other team's morale.
Well, I guess now that also puts us in a situation where now you have Wits and Sundowns who are meeting, and you know, obviously for Chiefs, it's about winning their game and hoping those two draw. It's a lot. Now you're getting into that territory of it's out of your hands and you're hoping for results elsewhere.
Absolutely. And also, I don't know, it was me just before Christmas. I was talking to someone, a very big Kaizer Chiefs fan, and I warned him that you might lose the first 3 games. I was just warning him.
Wow.
That knowing football,
Yes.
how I know football,
Yes.
you might lose your first 3 games.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's
tough.
quite a tough run. I mean, you start with Super Sport, then you got Highlands.
You lose against Supersport, right? Your 2 mega opposition wins the games, which is Bidvest and Mamelodi Sundowns.
Right.
And then your very next game is against a team that they believe they're supposed to win the first game.
Yes.
Right.
Because they thought the referee was not very good.
Yes.
So, and what happened is Highland Park are on high at the moment.
Right.
They just come from a 2-0. And the people told me today, say, yeah, at Mr. Bongo, they are playing, Kaizer Chiefs is playing home. Listen, when you play in routing, home and away, it is the same thing.
Right.
And
Well, whatever Chiefs play is home.
everywhere they play is home.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you are playing against 9 Limpopo boys. That is what Highland is.
Right.
What does it mean? People don't understand what I keep saying about Limpopo boys. They just run.
They're strong.
I mean, Highlands is a running team.
They play. You don't know if they're going to start with Shalulile as a striker. They're going to start with Ndoro. You don't know if they're going to start in the middle of the park with Lecholenyane, who will just wait for you to make one mistake and get that pass. You don't know if Mvaza or Mvala is going to come today, start score. But they're a solid team. And I play under Owen de Gama. The players, they've got only one thing: be fitter than the opposition.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's a 90-minute game, and as the game wears on, you want to still be able to apply yourself. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, that run, then will, those first 3 games, we were speaking about 3 games.
Yeah.
Cape Town City is the third one.
Picking up.
Well, I mean, the thing is with Cape Town City, you just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, maybe it'll be a good time to speak about their results at the weekend. Yes, they won, but can you say it was a convincing victory? I mean, you saw how much it meant to Tamim Kiza when he scored that goal. I think that the sense of relief is there. And maybe they've turned a corner, and maybe this is not a good time, depending on their next result, because they take on Amazulu next. So who knows? By the time they meet Chiefs, they could be full of confidence and full of beans.
Yeah. From where they're coming from, I think that was a great result.
Yeah.
If I were the coach, I'll be happy.
Of course. I
Pick
mean,
them
first win now.
First win now after some time.
Which must be hard for a new coach, because you think that your appointment might just
change
things. But it didn't.
It didn't have any effect. So I think he had enough time probably with the break. Like what I said always, the break it works 2 ways. If you are on top,
It kills your momentum.
exactly. And if you are not on top, it helps you come up. So that is whatever happened with the Kaizer Chiefs. The break, they were on top.
Yeah.
Before the break, they were on song. And they wish they we never had a break. And then they'll continue with their run. And unfortunately,
Cape Town City, the first thing worked well for them. It is the first half finished 0-0. They did not concede. Even though they did not score, but they did not concede.
Right.
And then they kept their mind strong. Almost just before getting to the 70th minute, which we call championship time, I think every coach will tell you when you start getting to 70th minute, they call their star player or they call the captain and say, switch on. Switch on.
For sure.
At that moment, they got a crucial goal. So what happened for a team, from a player's point of view, the coach will have another perspective. What happened when you've been having a bad time and you are leading 1-0, your mind knows that we're not winning this game yet.
Right.
Maybe it is just another game. Maybe they want to equalize. You need to stay so on. And for them, winning 1-0 is, like the coach said, it is a massive, massive result.
And I guess also that result might be a massive boost to the man who was watching on from the sidelines. Dylan Kerr couldn't take the team. He didn't have his work permit. But, the Cape Town City coach, he admitted, he was like, listen, man, these guys were in the game.
Yeah.
We got away with one here today. So, I mean, Dylan Kerr will look at that and say, okay, cool, I'm not working from a bad base. And maybe, just maybe, I can get these boys just to start stringing together some results, because that one leaves them at the foot of the table.
And that is Baroka.
Yeah.
Baroka, for me, they're contender for direct relegation this season.
You don't even think Kerr coming in?
Because, they've got a big, huge problem. Listen, for the past 3 seasons or 4 seasons, and the coach, I'm under correction here, Baroka is a team that they have not yet showed that they should be in PSL. Yes, they always manage to get above relegation.
They won a cup last season.
Listen, cup game
Cup is a good runner. Anyway,
Cup is a sprint.
But when you go back to Cape Town City, seeing push it back with Nodada in the middle field, you start seeing that this is the Benny McCarthy's team. He put those 2 players in the middle of the park. They were so solid. I watched them play. They did not dominate the game fully. They've got something like 53% ball possession. But the midfield of a Puche and no data,
Right.
you can see, okay, Cape Town City is coming back.
Yeah. And it
So
was a start in a long while.
in
For
a
Frun.
very long time, yeah.
And,
That's
and,
for-
and I think maybe the coach have seen it. I think they really need a striker.
yeah.
They don't have a striker or the depth of a striker.
Right.
You could see their forward line. It's not really, I would say, turning goals or turning opportunities to goals, and that has been the Achilles.
Yeah.
For me, if I look at them, they're not scoring enough.
And
It's a team which creates. They create.
A lot of chances, but
They
don't
create the chances, and also with the Dutch play of having to move the ball quicker, going wide, putting in crosses. I think they've got an opportunity, but they did not. I'm sure their ratio of turning those chances into goals is very low.
And my biggest problem with Cape Town City is the problem that I had with Orlando Pirates 3 or 4 seasons ago of Paul Makola.
Okay.
Paul Makola for me is a big liability. People love him in South Africa, but please go and read Paul Makola's statistic.
Okay.
Who is Paul Makola? Is he a striker or a midfielder?
Right.
If he's a midfielder, then
Yes.
create goals. He
His
doesn't.
assists should be quite high. Yeah.
Quite high. He doesn't. He takes all the set pieces, but often they are bad. If he's a striker, he does not score. So Paul Makola came from this suspension. He walked in the team.
Right.
He came in second half. I watched Paul Makola playing. The coach is right. He's a coach. He picked it up immediately. They don't have a striking force.
Yeah.
So Erasmus is not scoring. And you expect Paul Makola to score. He's not scoring. So they need to go in the market. And they get the young man, Musonda from Black Leopard, pay money and go there, give them some 6-7 goals to the second half of the season, and they will find themselves in top 8.
That's you're planting an interesting seed there as far as getting Musonda to go to
He's
Cape
not
Town
happy at
City.
Black Leopard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not. But I think he's looking for something a bit more. Do you think he looks at Cape Town City
I
and
thi-
see stability?
I think the problem with him, Sonda, sorry, we are bringing up.
No,
this.
which is good, yeah.
I think beginning of season he had offers to go to Europe and to the Middle East probably, and obviously it was for the money. If you look at his age and all that, and apparently I think David Diela refused. He said, "He's still my player. I want so much, and probably the deal did not go through."
Right.
So I think it has affected him. So you don't expect. I didn't expect him to do well this season, and I think David Diela should see that and probably say, "You know what? Thank you so much for your service. Sell him to another team. Probably will get the best of Musonda."
Especially-
But what the coach said,
Yeah.
Musonda outside Black Leopard's team, you immediately lose 12, 13 goals. How much do you left with? Nothing.
Yeah.
So that is the problem. So Black Leopard, they have a big problem. If they want to survive,
Yes, they need a player.
they had to let Musonda go. So the
Think of-
team
okay.
cannot count on
Oh,
him.
okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
I hear you. I
Yeah.
hear you. So to galvanize the squad that
Yeah.
is involved
Let him
and
go.
wants to be there, he should, for the benefit of the team.
Cape Town
Yeah.
City, the coach can speak to them tomorrow. Cape Town City, listen, Musonda is available. Call Musonda. Musonda goes there, even on loan.
Yeah.
Because he is a man. We are all playing football, and we're playing football because we love it and we wanted to look after our families.
Yes.
So Cape Town City, they're going to pay him. He won't be playing for free.
Yeah.
They will pay him for his family, and he's happy doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So-
Right. But I guess the one case of that maybe not working out as well as you'd like it to is when you look at someone like Jeremy Brocky, who headed to Maritzburg and it's not quite panned out. So there is a risk involved, in getting these players who are low in confidence. You almost have to go to a coach that a coach who can speak into your ear and say, listen, I know what you're capable of. I need you to do it for me, because there is that risk.
Yeah.
You run the risk.
Major had the same problem at Vet, and then picked up later.
yeah.
Gabuza
And the stakes are
picked
high
up.
now.
Brocky's problem, I think he came in and for me, I don't know how he came to Sundowns, because as much as he can score goals, he's not a Sundowns player.
Right.
I don't want to lie to you. He will never fit in Sundowns. Sundowns build up, they want to touch. Brocky is not that kind of guy.
Right.
Go wide, crosses in, yes. Give him chances. Brocky does that.
Right.
But this thing of combination play, it's not Brocky's. So for me, from the word go, I think maybe the scouting did not go well in terms of recommending Brocky to Sundowns. Yes, he was scoring goals as SuperSport, but he fitted like a glove at SuperSport. That's why he was scoring goals.
Wasn't it the case of Chelsea where get opposition best players and make them sit on the bench?
It could be.
It could be the hoarding of players.
Let make a SuperSport. I mean, listen, the coach could have not explained it well, better than me. He wasn't fitting at Sundown.
Right.
And when you go to play in a team like Maritzburg, I played SuperSport when we were fighting relegation year in, year out.
Yeah.
When you go to play against a team that are fighting relegation,
6-pointer.
what they want from you is too much. I remember I came from Silver Star.
Yeah.
I went to SuperSport. I never started a game. Why? Because Shane McGregor, every game was a cup game. So Shane McGregor will say, listen, Chris, let me start this game. Let's see, because it is a big game.
Yeah.
Because every game, it's a big game. So Brookie, when he went there, I think first game, second game, third game, as a striker, you don't score. You need a coach who will call you aside to talk to you, say, listen, I don't need you to score.
Yeah.
I just need you to sit there.
Okay. Right.
But if the coach keeps saying, listen, I'm looking at you, this game, and it doesn't come.
Yeah, true.
You go down again.
Okay, now it's a bit of a reverse psychology that might need to be utilized in that situation.
You need something.
Congratulations to Maritzburg. They were very lucky. I mean, in the end, they got an own goal that meant that they won 2-1 against Golden Arrows. But there you go, Eric Tinkler, the machine.
The second goal came the same way as it was Kaizer Chief. Or Kaizer Chief, right? I was here with you. We said, no, the defender made a mistake.
Yes.
No, it was not a mistake. When you're playing football, and you know there is a gladiator behind you, your mind works fast.
Right.
So as the ball was crossed, Judas was running into the ball, and I have to win this ball.
Yes.
And they forced it to make a mistake.
Exactly. So there we go. I mean, that worked for them in that KZN derby. Maritzburg United beating Golden Arrows. Well, I mean, what do you think about Golden Arrows? I mean,
I think for me, Steve has done well with them. It's rather unfortunate that we don't see what is coming up, because nobody really talk about Golden Arrows.
Yes.
But as a coach, if you want to make an analysis of Golden Arrows, I think there's so much hope and so much, I think, potential. Which I think the thing also, just talking about Golden Arrows, sometimes if we are talking of potential, it might rise to a full potential. It might sometimes it stays as promising. So the challenge which he has now, Steve, is to now go on to the next stage.
Yes.
What is the next stage? I think
that is a good question. What is the next level?
The first level is finishing top 8.
He's sitting 8th right now.
Yes. Listen, very unfortunate we talk about. If he drew this game, he would have been above Orlando Pirates.
Right.
If he has won the game, he will be in 6th position.
Okay.
I think it's the same job that he got when he went to Bloemfontein Celtic last season, when he started in Bloemfontein Celtic. Stabilize the team, make them difficult to be beaten.
Yes.
And give us the first tournament of the season a chance to play in top 8.
Yes.
Because what is Golden Arrow? Golden Arrow, they want to, if they sell 1 or 2 players a season, they're happy. And if they're in top 8, they're happy. I don't think Golden Arrow is a team that they want to challenge
for sure.
the championship.
No, for sure. I don't think we've seen that kind
of.
Or
go and play in the continent. Go and play in Africa. They don't have enough infrastructure for them to fight PSL and go, and because they finish in top 4 and go and play in the continent, you'll be in big trouble.
So you almost have to not over. Be
in top 8,
exactly.
Because your players' price goes higher.
Right.
Be on top 8, and you sell 1 or 2 players, bring 2 more players, and they stabilize it there. But give us a competitive game against Kaizer Chiefs. We want to be excited about that game. We want to be excited that you beat Mamelodi Sundowns this season, or you can beat Mamelodi Sundowns. Right. You're not just a weak team.
But don't be so good that you end up now.
You cannot tell the team don't be so good, but they know they are not that good.
And also, it's a team which, of the 16 teams which are in the league right now, if you're playing Golden Arrows, it's a tough game.
Thank you.
Every other team will say that.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, PSL this season, coach. Once again, I might be under correction here. We have so many good fixtures this season.
Yes.
The Golden Arrows become a good fixture because you don't know what will happen.
I'm sure.
even now we have an excitement that the Chiefs are playing Highland Park. That is an
Absolutely.
extra fixture in
exactly.
the PSL, which
Exactly.
is good.
Yeah.
And we did not have this kind of fixtures before.
Before,
Highland Park,
absolutely. Yeah.
but now everybody's looking at tomorrow's game. It's going to be a tough game. You know, Highland Park is playing. So PSL is getting better and better and better.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a credit to the game that we are looking towards more and more fixtures.
yeah.
You know? I
Fixtures,
mean,
Because if you're on the log, you look at the log. If you are last on the log, you win your 2 games, you're out of that.
Yeah.
You are already on the middle.
Yeah.
Of the season.
No, exactly.
In the top 8. You're already in the top 8.
Yeah, the table is so tight.
That's how bad it is.
Can you imagine Chiefs just lost one game and threw one, 12 points is gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. A double-digit lead would have gone
Yeah.
within a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
As we now focus on Sundowns and their dominant performance against Amazulu. I mean, you know, it was another masterclass from Tembazwane. You just know that once he's in that team and he's playing, then the whole team plays.
Absolutely.
And 3-0, just, you know, at the end of the day, Sundowns just keeping the pressure.
I think 2 things with their result. Obviously, they were motivated enough to play, to want to win.
Yeah.
But the fact that they just saw Kaizer Chiefs losing to SuperSport, I'm sure that galvanized everybody going there so that they can win. So I think the fact that Kaizer Chiefs played before them and they were aware of the result,
Right.
that no matter what, they wanted to win that game.
Right.
So
And
that
they
also
knew-
helped them.
They knew the result from Bidvest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Ah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful the fact that the very first game, which is Kaizer Chiefs on the weekend, we look forward to that game to see if Kaizer Chiefs can still dominate.
Right.
They lose that game. And then Mamelodi Sundowns played the very last game. So which means the whole Saturday,
Yeah.
we stayed up to watch
Yes.
PSL. It
Right.
was beautifully set.
just-
Yeah,
Yeah.
constructed in terms of
I
the
don't know
fixtures.
if PSL thought about it, but it came like we watched the whole day
Yes.
because
Because you wanted to see how the story
Yeah.
how the story
pans out.
will continue. And Joseph from Amazulu himself, he said, we were outclassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were outclassed for the first
I
time.
mean, it's one of those games where, as a coach, you can't really be judged
For the first
as
time,
to
I
the
did.
result.
I did enjoy watching Vilaka's play
Yes.
since he left Bidvest.
Yeah, true.
That's a long time. That's a
He-
long time,
he
Bongo.
he uses his big chest. He passed the ball very well. He made runs. Something I don't know what the coach can say about Jali. Where did he find it? Where did he go to speak to Jali of
Yes.
the
That's
one
it.
we knew?
Yeah, true.
He had a conversation with that Jali.
I think
promise
so,
you
yeah.
because
No, for sure.
he is a totally different player in the past 5-6 games.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
maybe it's a culture thing where you're reminded that wherever you played before might have been that way, but here everyone is a elite professional. So
You
to be
fit
amongst
with
the
the
best,
team.
exactly. To be the reason you're here means that you're as good as all these people here who are African champions.
Maybe it's
a lot of them.
maybe coach, maybe by giving him the responsibility of starting the game.
Yes.
Mm.
But
He
also,
also
but,
has confidence.
in Raja.
but also, if you look at the way Sundowns is playing, that's why for me, we don't talk about it. But I think Tembazwane is the main man.
Of course.
Their strikers are not scoring goals because they're playing more with the attacking players.
Right.
If you look at the system they're playing,
Yeah.
if you got what's his name,
Vilakazi.
Vilakazi and Tembazwane,
Yeah.
you don't need your striker to score.
No.
These two will score.
You've got also Mkhulise who also gets into
in
dangerous
Ajax, we
tackles.
used to call 2-10s. Now they're playing with 2-10s. Nobody has noticed that. They've changed their formation. They're playing with 2-10s. So already it's an attack-minded
don't know who
side.
to mark them.
You don't know who to mark.
Exactly. Yeah, because the goals
So
can
they're playing
come
with
from
2-10s. They
anywhere.
got a one-off striker and the 2-10s.
So now we have a problem. Is Matlambi can still be able to play it?
He's ever fit. I mean, he's got pace. He's
But
he can trouble
who is he going to
defenders, but-
replace? Listen, it is very tough. It is very tough for Amazulu. I mean, I regret the fact that this boy was one of the best players for me, Shawapiwa. I don't know if he went to a wrong club. He is a talent.
Right.
People did not see much of him because he was playing at Baroka, but he is a talent.
Yes.
I saw him in African Cup of Nations. Now in Amazulu, he's looking redundant for me.
Right.
He looks like he's in the wrong place and he's not even finishing games.
But
And-
but also he's got his interview. He says one of the teammates went to Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it has affected him a lot.
Okay.
He came out
said
in the
it,
open.
said.
Right.
He said it has affected me a lot that the guy who I really looked up to is not around. So
Right.
I think, as Chris is saying, it has affected him in a way. You could
he's
tell
a good
the way
player.
he's playing. He's a bloody good
I don't know if
player.
he's gonna finish at Amazulu though.
Yeah.
That's
This window or end of season?
Listen, South African. I don't trust South Africa January. I don't think we have scouts. The coach might tell me no, we do. I don't think we have scouts who actually watch the first half of the season to identify players that can fit in their clubs.
In the
Yeah.
clubs,
We
yes.
we don't use transfer in January systematically to plug in where we want.
Right.
And for the moment,
I mean, it's hard to find value in January, though.
no, there's a lot of value. For me, I'll go.
But also, Chris, like what Chris is saying, it's making a sense. If you are a team, right, who really look forward for January, then you're bad planners.
Sure. You
Because
shouldn't have-
January is just okay.
Plug.
Here we are.
Yeah, there's a guy who got a 3-month injury layoff.
Yes,
so
and then-
he's gone
and-
for the season.
and
He
then-
needs to find someone.
yes.
Me, if I am Orlando Pirates, I'll destabilize Vets. I'll go and get their captain.
But they have to sell. They
Yeah.
have to want to sell.
No, but you go if you put money on the table.
But Chris,
Orlando Pirates is a big club.
but Chris,
Yeah,
Then
but
trouble
I
in
mean-
defense.
Yeah,
but Chris, if you
I'm
look
playing a team that might win the title.
if you look at the team, which has got more depth, it's Orlando Pirates.
No,
course.
they've got a lot of players.
they've got lots of players. Whether you can call it depth, I guess is what
They've
Chris
got-
is saying.
They've got a lot of players. I mean, coach, you have been in the game for too long. Sorry to ask a coach a question. I mean, you have been in the game for too long. You played the team that finished twice number 2. Why have 16 players?
Yeah.
Why have new
players,
16?
yeah.
You are telling us we're not good enough. Suddenly, the
Exactly.
player of the season cannot even score a goal or even assist.
But for me, right now, we are talking right now.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if Orlando Pirates can get their act together. They can compete and win the league this season.
No way.
That's a bold.
Because I'll tell you why. They got the players.
They've got the players.
They got the players.
No one is expecting them, so there's no pressure.
They got the players. Look at it.
No,
they got the players.
We are with you, coach.
In terms of going forward, if they can put their act right.
Which act? That's the problem. They don't
Yeah.
even know which act to put together.
No. Firstly, let's talk about it then.
Yeah.
Firstly, you got a coach who is not happy. He was the head coach, and all of a sudden he's an assistant coach.
Right.
Already, if I were Orlando Pirates, I'll say, listen, take a leave until end of year.
Well, they've given him
He's-
leave now.
He's on leave.
He's on leave.
Until end of year.
We don't-
Well, we don't know how long the leave is.
Not a short leave.
Not a
because,
short leave.
because for me,
How does he come back into that environment?
you can't. You can't. You are the head coach. You were the head coach.
My thinking, well, for the head coach, he was an interim coach. If himself he put it at that, he was a head coach. That is on
His
the,
own problem.
the official
Standpoint
note.
from the club was that he's
it's
an interim
coach.
coach.
So, coach for me,
Until when?
no,
Until they found a
until they
coach.
found a coach.
Until they found a coach.
They would have not. They would
I
have
thought.
not.
I thought they
Oh.
said he's
They
an
did,
interim
yeah.
coach until end of season.
No.
correct me
Orlando
if
Pirates.
I'm wrong.
Orlando Pirates.
I think you're right.
By the time they bring, but the
Because
time,
that's what he thought.
by the time they bring a coach, Rhulani was not in the dark. He knew about the new coaches coming.
Yeah.
And before the coach being announced, Rhulani was told that they're going to introduce the coach.
Okay, Chris.
No.
Chris,
no,
can
I think
Chris,
They would
Chris,
have not
Chris.
blindsided him.
No,
would
they
have-
did.
They did.
They did because
They
of the
did.
results.
They
Chris,
did, exactly. He
let's
had
be
the-
honest.
he had the mandate
For me,
until
that's
the end
why
of the
the
season.
boy is upset.
Yeah.
The boy is upset
You say I
because
can
he
go
was
until
the
the
interim
season.
coach until end of season. Now, because results did not go his way, they made a change.
And that change, he was privy to that change. I don't see a team like Orlando Pirates wake up in the morning, Rhulani comes and they say, oops.
But coach, there's a
It
difference
was-
between finding out the day before
Yeah.
and finding out
So,
2 weeks before when
yes.
they're starting the.
I think he knew about it not less than a week.
Nah, I think he knew about it last minute.
I think it
How
came
do
as
you
a shock.
justify his reaction?
It came as a shock.
After the game,
Yes.
after the first game with the coach, he's sitting on the bench, not celebrating with
Yeah,
everybody
not
else.
anything.
Now he's on leave.
No. The leave part, I explained it yesterday. Naturally, what Rhulani went through, we're undermining what Rhulani went through. He wake up one day, after losing in Zambia, he wake up one day to find that the coach has left the country. His head coach left the country without him knowing.
Yes.
Immediately, he got the job. He got excited. The next 3 results were bad results. South African who support Orlando Pirates reacted to it negatively. Coach, you have been a coach.
Yeah.
Supporter, they react to you differently. No, your head must go.
Yeah.
But the way they attacked Rhulani, it was not only Orlando Pirates supporters. Rhulani was attacked by everybody else because they said he was arrogant, which I don't know. So once the new coach came, he has affected him. So the way to deal with it is going on leave.
No,
I don't think.
No, the way to deal with it, let him walk away.
Exactly.
That's all you have to do. Wherever.
No.
Let's go to cheaper.
No. Rhulani,
that's our problem.
If I am Rhulani,
it's emotional.
No.
It's emotional. Because as long as he's around, listen. As long as he's around.
No, I don't want him to be around. If I am Rhulani, I'll go to Orlando Pirates. Having because I love him very much. Take him to Europe or wherever. Go and do the pro license. Study football again.
Okay.
And then come back. He is a
Then
product of South African football.
That's it.
He is an asset for
it,
South African football.
Yeah, that's the point.
And I always say
That's the point.
Rhulani is not yet ready to be a head coach.
That's the
Not
point.
of coaching, of even taking pressure from outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No.
don't
Point
discard
taken.
him.
No,
Don't
no.
discard him.
South
Say
So you shouldn't be anywhere near football now. Go and learn.
Go and study. I mean,
Go to attachment 6 months.
Your friend,
Yeah.
your friend George Weah did the same thing. He went to politics. He got beaten badly.
Yes.
Right.
What he did is he retracted himself. He went to study political science. He learned how to be a statesman, and he came back. He won it.
Absolutely.
So-
absolutely.
Okay, well, speaking of that, Orlando Pirates Link, they played against Bloom Celtic 1-1 was the final score. Shoga making a return to the starting 11. I guess you can say unbeaten in 2.
Can you remember, just before we close, Coach, we are not here, we
All
talked
right.
about it, and I did the statistic. 87% of Orlando Pirates goal conceded.
Right?
It is from the 70th minute.
Okay.
Why? There must be, as a coach, you will go and you
Yeah.
kick yourself.
Yes.
Sure.
Why most of my goals coming out of 70, unless they don't have a video analyst or they don't have a stat analyst. I am not even an analyst. I look at it and say, but why Orlando Pirates keeping constant goals at
Right.
70? Because they switch off.
Yes.
Because they start thinking of Instagram.
Yeah.
They start thinking of Facebook. We start thinking of what they want to say to their girlfriend. Their mind get out of the game.
Right.
It's not only them.
Please.
There's one team also.
Who else?
Highlands Park. Look at them. All their goals.
Yes.
Now it's better if you say 75% is better. All their goals are conceded after 75 minutes.
That's bad. In football, it's bad.
But I mean,
and you know why?
yeah.
Simple. Players are now tired.
But have we not just said that they're the fittest team?
Yes, if you are the fittest team,
Yeah.
let me tell you, your approach to the
Manage
game.
it.
Yes, that's where I'm going. Your approach to the game, we are so fit to run our things off.
Until 75. And then the tank is saying,
No more.
no more.
It's managing.
Game management.
Game
So
management.
bring 2 defensive players.
Yes.
Take the strikers out.
Yes.
And those 2 defensive
Fresh players, let them run in the middle
the
there.
middle there, something like this.
I guess.
But for Orlando Pirates, I don't know if it is game management because it kills me. How can a team score 3 goals and still not get 3 points?
it can happen.
Yeah, that is only if you're Arsenal or Orlando Pirates or Cape Town City.
But it's game management. I think you're right. I think a lot
Golden
of the
Arrows,
time
they will score 1 goal and they win the game.
they will sit.
Yeah.
They will sit and protect the lead. Yeah.
Chelsea won the Champions League, won the FA Cup, won the
Yeah,
Premier League.
that's Mourinho.
Mourinho scoring 1 goal.
But maybe let's now put into focus that defense, right? We're speaking about how defense is really what wins you these titles.
Go and get Clancy.
Santi.
Or go and get a
I mean, they're being linked to Gordinho.
No.
It was in a very ironic picture
No, you see,
today.
the Gordinho story is he has no contract going. No.
Yeah.
Go for a big name where he's in a contract. Make your supporters, make everybody know that you have an intention.
What happened to Tulan Shashwa?
They tied him to a new deal at Wits. So to get him out would mean a lot of money because he's just the ink has barely dried on the deal. So
Do you want to win? The coach said that Orlando Pirates can win the league.
Yes.
So bring him there, stand there, Tyson.
can Wits though? But Wits can win the league as well.
You know
So why
what
would
he's
you
saying.
leave?
You know what he's saying.
Huh?
That's why I believe Orlando Pirates can win. Look at their strike force.
Right.
Oh, no,
What is lacking with Orlando Pirates? The defense.
No, they've got
defense.
a lot of strikers.
But you see, the thing is, the whole league is probably aware of that. So if you're a top team with top defenders,
That's why you guys are asking.
Pirates are your competition.
Yes.
Why would you strengthen them in the one area that
Did you-
know?
did you speak
is
to
all
that-
it takes?
Did you speak to Steve? Steve want to play Orlando Pirates every day.
Right,
He just want the ball come, turn them around, run, you're gonna score.
right,
But he's asking, how can the team score 3 goals and end up losing?
right.
Something is not right.
Something
But
is not right.
that, as much as you can say the defense, look at Kaizer Chiefs and look at the Orlando Pirates. I don't think, and I'm yet to see that the back four protected by the midfield players. It's not happening at Orlando Pirates.
At Orlando Pirates.
That could be the problem.
But actually, who's the midfield to
Yes.
protect?
What's a Mlochko?
Orlando Pirates, just to make it official, guys.
Yeah.
Orlando Pirates is considered 22 goals,
Yep.
which means they are the second worst defense after Cape Town City, who scored considered 23.
Yeah.
So
they're in a group with Golden Arrows. It's Cape Town
Sure.
City. It's Pirates.
So what is the coach is saying to make it sure? While they consider 22 goals, they are the best attacking team in the league with
absolutely.
23 goals.
Absolutely.
So you are the best attacking team in the league,
Yes.
and you are still fighting in the 6th position, almost 14 points behind the log leader. That means forget everything else. Go and buy 2 tough defenders. Okay, if you don't want to get them from Bit Vets, go and get them from Arisbeck.
But you see, that's why I'm
But-
saying.
but-
If
but
you look
for
at the
me-
teams that are challenging, right?
for-
The teams
for-
that are challenging.
Uh-huh.
Chiefs, Sundowns, Vits.
Yeah.
All double digits in their goal
In the
difference.
goals.
Goal
Yes.
difference.
Yes.
Pirates are the only ones where they're sitting on
Single.
one. One.
Because they don't have a defense is
So-
in French we call it passoire, which
Yeah.
means where you put T to go and then the T left here it stays
to
in.
go.
Sorry?
it's going. It's still going out somewhere.
Right.
Yes. So the water is going. So that is their defense. There's no stop water.
but making an analysis, it's more the midfield player. Look at them. They don't have a proper. This is me.
Enforcer. Yeah.
Yes, a proper
What did
enforcer.
they use last year? Munetti and
Yes, Monetti.
Yeah.
Munetti has left.
Was the key
and,
player.
And there is another boy. Because remember last time I was here, I just remembered Orlando Pirates when they won double triple. Midfield they had 3 players.
Right.
Tumaelo, Jali,
Jali.
Manisa.
Yes.
Tumaelo and Jali, they stayed deep.
Yes.
Once they lost those players, they brought Sa. And they brought the Ghanaian boy,
Good jam.
Jima.
Jima. Yeah.
Orlando Pirates always been protected.
Yeah.
By that time, at the back, they had Lucky Lehwati, they had Mahamutsa, they had Happy Jele Yanga. We forget that Happy Jele put a lot of kilometers in
On
those
the
legs.
tank, yeah. No.
So the defense is actually a big problem.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
beginning of the season it was the goalkeeping as well.
Yes.
They brought some French.
Yeah, Doris Jelly. Yeah, no, it's not worked out
Where
for
is
him.
Not
Oh well,
yet.
he's there, but you know, because I mean, there's word now that Ofori might be a target of the big boys as
You
far
see,
as getting a good goalkeeper.
Do it in January. Send the intention that the coach is talking. Ofori, today we talked about Ofori, the most underrated goalkeeper
Yeah.
in Premier.
Right.
Not only that he stops the ball, he tells his defender what to do to mark and when.
But if I'm Maritzburg, I'm tired of being involved in these relegation things. If I sell Ofori, I'm
money
putting
talks.
myself in
Money
that
talks.
situation.
Money talks in football.
It may, but does it
No, no.
cushion the blow
No,
of
no, money-
possibly going down?
The
I mean,
reason
I don't think they will.
The
but
reason Marisbeck is where they are because last year they sold players and they lost
Absolutely,
players.
yeah, but at least you want to still hold on to a good goalkeeper because how much is a good goalkeeper worth in a season as far as points are concerned?
Yeah, easily 15 points.
Yeah.
Easily.
And
in
that's
South African
and
terms.
I think if you're a Maritzburg United fan, you're just tired of having the postseason. Now you're watching the playoffs and to see if your team is still in or not. I think Maritzburg, for stability's sake,
What is the aim of Marisbeck? To be honest, guys, come on. They want to sell players.
yeah, for sure.
They want to make money.
For sure. But I think stability to see the season through. Then sell him when you can go and look for someone. Like Coach said, if you're letting players go,
Three
and you
million-
don't have the players prepared
3 million rand when you start whipping it in front like this.
3 million for Ofori.
If you refuse, the goalkeeper start remembering that the salary could have been better at Orlando Pirates,
And
you're in
goals-
trouble.
and
But
goals will
exactly, but I
start
just
going
say to
in.
him, listen, hang in there till end of
Because
the
I'm still
season.
thinking.
Exactly. So
I'm still thinking.
the game is playing. You think, I could have been playing for Orlando Pirates
You just say to
now.
him, listen, I'll give you a chance at the end of the season.
No, no,
Just,
no,
you
no,
know,
no.
help me survive. Help me survive comfortably and be in top 8, and then you can go.
Football is
without
cruel.
blessing.
Football is cruel.
It is. It
Look
is.
at
But,
what happened to Pogba. He's not playing, my friend. He's supposed to be at
He's
Real
injured.
Madrid long ago.
he must be a professional and see out his contract, old
Yeah.
Pogba. Let's check out the other results that happened
Okay.
at the weekend. Bit vs Bits, we spoke about.
You
them.
had a story that you have. Rantie. I thought you wanted to talk about Rantie.
Oh, we're going to talk about him just
Okay.
now. We're gonna talk. I just want to get through the results
Okay.
because we're looking at teams just coming back, and Polokwane City, they won.
Great.
Um,
I love
Let's
it.
let's
I
talk
like
about
them.
that game.
yeah.
I like that.
Polokwane City and Chipa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it? Chipa was on the rise. Like what to say, I think the new coach has given them hope, and he was winning.
Right.
I think Nomin has done well with Chipa, and like what I always say, second half. Second round, the break spoils things.
Right.
We said it. For some teams, we'll say, listen, let there be no break.
Right.
And
Let's just carry on playing.
Chipa goes into that category. They thought the way they were playing and they were getting results, there shouldn't be any break.
Speaking of breaks, is it? I mean, I guess it's not a coincidence that the two teams who played soccer right through in Wits and Sundowns. What happens on day one? In
No,
the
no.
new year?
Gavin Hunt will tell you he does not like breaks.
Of course, he said it last year. He
No,
said
no, no, he
he
doesn't
rather
like
wants someone
breaks.
to play.
But Cubs is telling, they never had a break.
Yeah. So those two teams don't have a break. They play in the league and they win.
Playing the CAF champions, so they didn't have a break.
And it does
Yeah, for
help.
sure.
I still remember when Orlando Pirates went to the final of Champions League and Confederation Cup. For 3 seasons, they did not have a break, and they were fighting to win the league.
Sure.
So the break for me is not good. No, the break for me is not good. But
They'll tell you it's for the benefit of the players.
unfortunately for Chipa, yes, now they're number 10. But because of the quality of Cape Town City and Polokwane, I still believe Chipa will be in the
step back,
it will be below them.
Do you think Polokwane has more quality than Chipa?
Polokwane, they went through a bad patch.
Right.
And with this win, probably it's going to be a change.
Yes.
Polokwane City is a tough team.
Of course. On their day, they are.
Last season, you have one of the best striker. Abia, I don't know where he's gone. I don't see him anymore. You have...
They were number 4.
They were number 4. The previous season, they were number 5. And there is a point where they were actually fighting for number 1, number 2. So Polokwane City, for 3 seasons, they've been... Something happened last season. I don't know what it is, but something did happen for them. But maybe they will go. So...
I mean, they were helped slightly by the red card in that game to Komane. But, I mean, in the end, 2-0 is 2-0.
2-0
And Clinton Larson, I mean... Do you think he's the man? I mean, he's saying that 5 wins, 5 draws, and they stay up. That's his calculation.
One thing which he's saying, I mean, he said it himself, I don't get relegated as a coach.
First time for everything.
It's good, yeah.
It was first time for everything. But I mean, that mathematical...
for Polokwane City.
saying 5 wins and,
No,
and
Polokwane
5
City
draws.
should not be thinking about relegation. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
No, they've got enough quality for...
So who do you think will go down?
Oh, no, I already said.
He said Baroka automatic.
Baroka is a direct relegation candidate, and
Yeah.
Black Leopard will be fighting for promotion and relegation. I see Stellenbosch getting out of this position very, very easily. Stellenbosch will beat Baroka in the return game this time. They won't be a draw. They're going to beat Baroka. They might get something against Amazulu. And they are strengthening their team. Their team is getting stronger compared to the rest. And they've got the money, by the way.
Okay. And then quickly touching on Highlands winning against Leopards. Luke Mels, he just surprised everybody. Just, down tools and said he wants to leave. I mean, what do you make of that?
Conditions in PSL, the coaches here can tell you, is not easy. For me, when a coach resigns, I respect that coach. Than just saying, listen, I will help the team to get here. If you realize what you wanted to see happen is not happening,
It's not going to happen.
Then walk away.
Rather fall on your sword,
because what happened with coaches, we become their children.
Yes.
We go to the coach and say, coach, for the past 2 months, my money is not coming full. And the coach want to play you. But the coach understand that you did not get full salary. So the coach now will have to compromise, not playing you, playing somebody else who's less than you, and the result does not come. So what people say, the coach is not good enough.
Yeah, and also I think I remember talking to one coach, one friend of mine, a coach. He said to me, anyway, let me mention him, Mushin Tokelo. He says, when you want to be a very good coach, never, ever, 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 if you're going for an interview with them, normally you don't go to an office. If you're going to an interview, they say, listen, let's go for lunch.
Okay.
Pay that lunch. Never allow them to underestimate you in the pocket. He gave me that. He says, never allow them.
Wow.
They say, let's go for supper. You pay.
Right.
They mustn't pay. You
Right.
pay. Now, what is he saying? Don't coach with the tummy. I think coaches, like what he's saying, if things are not going your way,
Right.
walk away.
But there's an argument that would be made that the same coaches are getting employment
Yes,
because
somewhere.
they're thinking with their
No.
stomach.
Maybe somebody. One thing I know, that's why I respect Mushin. I respect him. He always says, Ian, never ever coach thinking about your tummy.
Yeah.
Coach with your brains.
You know, to answer to that question, the coach keeping coming back is very simple. Football is an industry. Coaching is a professional.
Yes. They want my
So you don't
services.
mind the same coaches?
No,
and
they
same-
want my services.
same
I keep on
faces.
telling everybody, it's not a South African issue. It
everywhere.
is not South African phenomenon. It
Sure.
is worldwide.
Yes, Sure. true.
Worldwide, coach keeping going from going up, and they go for PSG. From PSG, they go to Monaco. Monaco.
You go to Wigan, Stoke City,
Stoke
Steve Bruce.
City.
Now he's a Newcastle.
Right.
So
They'll
it-
fire
it-
him again.
Right.
Because it is their profession.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Right.
And their football, it is an industry. So if you're an accountant, you can work for different
Yes.
companies as long as they need an accountant.
Right. Yeah.
So you can leave
Right.
them if the condition is not good.
Right. So we should apply the same logic to
The same
coaches.
logic should be applied in football. The only thing we keep on looking is because we look at the 16 company.
Only
And,
16 companies.
but,
Yes.
but don't look at the 16 company. Just look at it as an industry.
Yeah.
And today, somebody they don't know, maybe Coach Goa is available. They don't know because maybe he's quiet and everything. Suddenly you see him in Baroka. He's not a recycle, no.
No, yeah.
He's a coach, he's available. Baroka
Yes.
need a coach. And he said, no, I can provide that service.
Sure. Service provider.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Service provider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, transfer window quickly, and maybe we'll touch on the midweek fixtures. We've touched on some of them already, but this Baroka and Mdantsane transfer saga now. The club announced that he's part of 4 players who have all been given their clearance. Cape Town City catch wind of that. They signed the player. Now it's being said that no, he never was given his clearance, and now obviously it's going to be tried. Well, the PSL are going to try and resolve this dispute, but who's fooling who here?
Yeah,
Baroka. The reason they're sitting in DC, because by law, regardless of the case, when you go to PSL to claim something, they have to listen to you.
Right.
Even if it's not factual, they have to listen to you. Where I'm saying Baroka is fooling himself, PSL would have not given permission to sign a player if they did not see that clearance.
Yeah.
So, which means the clearance was
there.
made.
Yeah.
And that's why the player was signed.
And the
Right,
worst
so-
thing is the clearance. The chairman, he says, or the boss is saying, it was my assistant,
Right,
not me. But
right.
normally, you are the boss.
And
Everybody
clearly
listens
that
to you.
assistant has signed something on your behalf before.
Exactly.
Because why would they?
So
Why would
I
they?
think Baroka is falling. You know. I think maybe they underestimated. I don't know. We were talking about scouts. Within the team, they thought it's not good enough, but people see.
That's your TKO winning captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Doesn't matter.
Football.
Forget about you real quick.
Football.
But I mean, the conspiracy theorists will suggest that maybe Baroka were trying to make sure that their captain doesn't play against them at the weekend. And they
No.
still lost.
He
They
got
still
the
lost.
clearance, and
But they apparently say that no, they did this
Guys,
so that they couldn't play on the
do
weekend.
you know how long? Do you know how long it takes? Which process it takes for you to get the PSL card?
No, for sure. It's
That card for you to come with your name and the picture. It is a process.
and there are checks and
There are
balances.
checks that it goes check.
But Kamsa could write. comes, I could be right.
Oh yeah, the story to Pung Shake doesn't play against them.
And then next week it's all done. Okay,
Yeah,
it's okay. I made a
sorry,
mistake.
our mistake. That is my signature. Oh, I approve
And
that.
they play and then they lose the game without him.
Well,
Still-
yeah, I mean, they still lost, exactly. I mean, Murphy's Law.
No,
some would say
football,
it's justice.
Listen, football, it is an industry that you have a lot of clandestine. A lot.
And then what do we make of Tokelo Rantie? I mean, here's a guy who had the world at his feet. He was at Bournemouth. He was the staple in the national team. You know, getting opportunities left, right, and center. Then the biggest club in the country at the time signs him to try and, you know, give him a sense of purpose. And he essentially, it looks like he's, you know, kicked dust in their faces. I mean, what happens now? Here's a player who's literally making himself unsignable.
It's difficult. I was surprised. I hope his advisors will sit down with him and say, listen, he has to...
You can't carry on like this.
You can't. But also, listen, you can say whatever you want. We Africans, we always say there's this curse around you.
Right.
It looks like it's that way.
Right.
But also, I always say, if there's a curse, yes. But then, why is it people don't see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I take it two ways. It's either he's doing it purposefully.
Right.
He signs, get your signing on fee. Because remember, when you sign,
Yeah.
the first week or first month, I think that's the time you get your signing on
Right. So get the lump sum.
fee. Walk away.
And what is that? Is that an admission on the player's part that he doesn't think he can contribute meaningfully? I mean,
I don't know. It's a very difficult to actually establish a football player running away from a contract. A football player, a professional soccer player.
at a top club like Sundowns,
I
you're
know.
literally walking into a squad with so much quality that all you have to do is your job and you win some trophies.
From the signing, it was wrong.
You always had a funny feeling about it.
No, not the funny. It was Peter Mosimane said, "Let me give the boy a chance."
Yeah.
No, you don't do that in football.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
What?
Either you sign a player to play. And
But
why,
I mean, he got given his chance.
why did he say, "Let me give the boy a chance"? I'll tell you why. Let's go to his statistic, because people will say, number one, as a football player, I don't rate him. The biggest stuff he has done in his life is to score a goal against Nigeria. That was great for South Africa, and beating Nigeria away from home.
Right.
It was the most amazing achievement. He has played in championship in England 41 times, and he scored 5 goals. He played in Australia 32 times, he scored 10 goals as a striker.
Yeah, what was his record
He
at
played,
Pirates?
he played in the Super League 26 times, he scored 3 goals.
Sure.
In South African Telecom Cup, he played 3 games for 30 minutes only. So each game he played 10 minutes.
Right.
And they scored no goals.
What was his record
In
at Pirates?
well, they don't even put it here because I think it does not. In Absa Premier League, he played 20 games. He scored 7 goals. He have 2 assists. That tells you, ladies and gentlemen, let not be emotional.
Yes.
If Coach Ian Goa
Yeah.
is a coach sitting here and you present him with this stat, he won't
Sign a
sign him.
striker,
Yeah,
you say
you
no.
can't.
Hard pass.
Thank you.
Hard pass.
Thank you.
Hard
So-
pass on that one.
What Peter has done, he cleared his own
Conscience, yeah.
conscience to say, as a black coach, as a South African,
I tried.
this is a South African patrimoine. I tried.
I tried.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, let's wrap it up real quickly. Some looking ahead to those fixtures. If you let's light note, venture a guess. Wits versus Sundowns. How do you see that one panning out?
I think we spoke about it. I think everybody will be happy with a draw.
Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You think they are so evenly matched?
Evenly matched.
Chris?
Not even close.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, I don't know if they're evenly matched.
No, what the coach is saying, evenly match is mind.
Yes.
Mind. Listen, Bidvest are a very tough team to beat away
Exactly.
from home. Most of the point that they collect is away from
on
home.
the road. Exactly.
Whereby Mamelodi Sundown, they win championship by winning many games in the second half of the season.
Okay.
and
Where-
knowing they can lose points against big
yeah,
teams.
and they start. Actually, Sundown does not win the league because they beat the
Yeah,
big
exactly.
teams.
Yeah.
No,
So
no.
Pizzo says he knows there's games he can lose, but he
Yes.
knows that there's more
So
Precious way.
that he has to win.
for me, this game, Mamelodi Sundown gonna win the game, but not because they're better than Vets.
Why?
Um,
If it's not because they're better, it's because They wanted more?
No, because mentally, I think Mamelodi Sundown have reached a second gear.
Okay.
I saw them getting a draw away from home in Champions League, which is not often happen for Mamelodi Sundown away from home. They come home with a loss.
Right.
They got that draw. They came back, and they know, they can smell Kaizer Chiefs.
Right.
They know that thing is around the corner. That thing
They can smell blood.
they can smell blood, and it might be an ugly game. It might be the game that will finish 1-0.
Right.
But I don't see Bidvest being clean sheet against Mamelodi Sundowns. The attack is just too
strong.
solid. Yeah.
Okay. And then Polokwane City, your team, versus Orlando Pirates. That'll be an interesting one. Zimbabwe on the road.
Very interesting.
It is, huh?
Very, very interesting game, I must say. In the sense that Polokwane City would want to get the result.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be super motivated for this.
At the same time, Orlando Pirates are so much under pressure. They are so much under pressure to win. So it will be a very interesting game, but I think in the end, Orlando Pirates will win.
Okay. And then Baroka, let's see, at the bottom of the table.
By the way,
against,
in my
Golden
prediction, I put Polokwane City win.
Oh,
Is that
Polokwane
so?
City win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Sundown win, Polokwane City win,
Uh-huh.
and Bluefontaine Celtic win.
Bloemfontein Celtic win.
Yeah.
On the road against Stellenbosch.
I think Stellenbosch, listen, Bluefontaine Celtic is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course.
Captain.
Very, very, very.
Tough team. The worst can happen to Bluefontaine Celtic in this game is a draw. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think, you can tell Bloem Celtic are quite the proposition because,
Especially at home.
yeah, I mean, they had
But
many
the fact that
chances.
they're going to Cape Town, maybe, I don't know. Are they
He
playing
says
at
they're going to
night?
play on the road.
Is Tinyam in the team? that boy just does not like losing.
Tinyem, which team?
Yeah, Bluefontaine Celtic. Oh, he
left.
left.
He's
He
a
left
cheaper.
cheaper. He's a
He's a
cheaper.
cheaper.
You didn't know.
He's a cheaper.
He left.
He left.
Long time. And the ship, I think, are floating him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit error prone, eh?
Yeah.
I think we can.
He's not
admit
going
that,
back to
I don't know.
Bluefontaine.
I don't know. They
He's
just said they're
behind
getting
him.
rid of him.
No.
But Bluefontaine Celtic is a tough team to. I mean, Steve Compella set that team to defend well for me last season.
And here you go. I'm going to give you one more opportunity to rub Corsi fans up the wrong way and Sundowns fans. A double whammy, Chris.
Very
the
simple.
rumors of Knowledge Musona, his countryman coming coming back. You before we got on air, you had some interesting infographics.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
If he is going to come back, simple, he is the best friend of Kama. So obviously, he would like to play with Kama.
Right.
That's one thing which I look at it.
Right.
Unless now, the other things, money. But to him, because he's been in Europe, maybe money might not be a really issue.
Yeah.
He might look to want to play with Kama.
Right.
Yeah. And that's all I can say.
Now he need money because they did not pay him. They were not paying him.
Okay.
That was one of the reasons why he's leaving.
Okay.
He was very unhappy because he
Right.
was on loan.
Yes.
Okay.
And listen, guys, not to flatter you, Musona has a bad record as a striker. He has played over 585 games, and as a striker, scored 55 goals. I've got a problem with the way we use Musona in this country.
Right.
Musona came on loan for Kaizer Chiefs to come in the place of a player who just found his scoring boots, Major. Major came from Orlando Pirates, went to Kaizer Chiefs, started scoring goals. Musona came, put him on the bench. Major lost his form and his football nearly died. He went to Super Sport, couldn't even play. Musona found goal scoring in South Africa. Why? Is because he is better than many players we do have.
Right.
That's the reality.
But then when he goes overseas.
He's not on that same level. But
Yeah.
in South Africa, he's good.
Right.
In Africa, actually, not in South Africa.
Yeah,
in
of
Africa,
course.
he's good because when he played for the national
For the
team.
national
Team as
team,
well,
I think
yeah.
he's the best goal scorer. I think he's played, if I'm not mistaken now, I think his goals are going close to 55
At the national team.
at the national team.
he's very, very good.
Yeah.
And you coached him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is decision making. In Europe, maybe it is mind.
Yes.
But he's going through a tough time at the moment. Very
but
tough.
also, if you look at his stature, like what he's saying, as much as you can say, if you watch him in Belgium, they play him wide.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They play him wide. He's
So
not
already,
a.
he's not
He's not a
he's not
striker.
going to be comfortable with that.
Yeah, like Tao. Before Tao left, I spoke with him and said, listen, when you go to Europe, please don't say you're a striker.
Otherwise, you're going to be putting immense pressure on yourself.
Because
they're the
and
strikers
when he
of
went
golf.
to Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, his teammate, in the same number of games, they play 14 games, the teammate from Senegal, he scored 19 goals and he scored 3.
Yeah, no.
Wow,
Okay.
when he moved on loan, now he's a wide player. He's not
Right.
a striker anymore.
Because you put less pressure to score
Yeah.
goals. Just help.
Assist.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get 1 or 2,
Yeah.
then it's a bonus.
So, Kaizer Chiefs are going to drop 2 points again. I don't see. Listen, coach, if I have to have a team in South Africa, which I won't have because I can't afford it, I will have 9 Limpopo players.
Right.
You will survive relegation.
Let's see what happens. It's a big occasion, actually, that Kaizer Chiefs game. They're expecting about
But
65,000
you are
people.
saying Baroka is going to go down. How many Limpopo players?
No, you see.
Ah.
No. I didn't say if the persons running the team should be from Limpopo.
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're getting away with it.
No, he's getting away with
getting away
it.
with
He's getting away with it. He said,
I'm
even though you have the 9
Yes,
Limpopo boys, you
yeah,
still have
I'm
someone.
talking about the
You need someone.
gladiator, the gladiators,
You still
not
need
the
someone
the
to-
person.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if you got enough time. Ajax Cape Town.
Yeah.
I was there. They did the research on South African football. They said they were going by the provinces. Limpopo, you get players who are very strong, who can run.
Yes.
KZN, you get players who are very strong as well, strikers and centre halves. You get the good centre halves from KZN.
Right.
Now, Bloemfontein or Free State, you get creative players.
Right.
Gauteng, you get tricky players, wingers. That's where you get them. Mpumalanga, this on record.
Right.
Go to Ajax books because I know I was part of it.
Yeah.
Go to Mpumalanga. You want very strong players. Very strong players who play wide, who can just run.
Right.
Mpumalanga.
Wow. Good engines.
Good engines. That's what Ajax did.
What about Northern Cape?
See?
Northern Cape?
The rugby, they don't play.
I just threw that in there because I don't know any players from the Northern Cape.
They don't
And,
play.
and players from Cape Town,
Right.
they just said their mentality is strong.
Yeah,
Stronger than anyone.
yeah.
Well, I think there's one Erwin Isaacs who would disagree with that. But anyway, on that note,
Okay.
thank you, gentlemen, for your
thank
thoughts
you.
and for your
Thanks.
expertise. We'll join again in a week's time. And to you as well, who've been watching on the socials or listening on the podcast, we do appreciate your patronage. Until we meet again, have yourselves a good week. A lot of midweek football and at the weekend. Enjoy it all. We'll recap it in a week's time. Until then, once again, Happy New Year. See you in a week's time. Take care.